What I really enjoy doing these days is taking a book that is 3,000 years old and realize how much is still true to this day. Last week, we talked about the Bhagavad Gita and extracted 3 essential ideas plus 1 bonus with some exercises to apply its wisdom today. I really hope you did the exercises and that you took the time to apply what we learned. This week, we're going to look at 5 essential ideas from the Analects of Confucius, translated by Arthur Waley. I hope you're as excited as I am, so let's go. So as always, let's get a little bit of context on the author to understand his teachings a little bit more. Like most of these really ancient authors, we can't really pinpoint when exactly they were alive and wrote their texts. We can assume, though, that he was around in the 5th, 6th century before the Common Era, before Jesus. So this is actually around the same time as Lao Tzu and our friend the Buddha. He dedicated his whole life in learning and teaching how to be the best person possible. Of course, the book also contains a lot of funny ancient Chinese customs which are anecdotal now but always fun to learn about. I quote, "The master said, if one of the 300 songs I had to take one phrase to cover all my teachings, I would say, let there be no evil in your thoughts." You guys can predict exactly what I'm going to do now. No? I'm sure you are. Compare that quote to what our Stoic mentor Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, said 2,000 years ago, a few hundred years later. And I quote, "Your mind will be like its habitual thoughts, for the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Soak it then in such train of thoughts as, for example, where life is possible at all, a right life is possible." You need to learn how to control your thoughts, otherwise they will control you, and that is not good. It's not good for you, it's not good for your loved ones, it's not good for your colleagues, it's not good for your health, and so on. You don't necessarily have to eliminate your thoughts, but take control upon them. This is what we learn to do in all our meditations together. I always tell you, don't try to eliminate your thoughts. Notice that they are there and then just put them in the background as opposed to the foreground. If we do a vibrational meditation, for example, I help you by putting a sound on the foreground, or like this week when we were focusing on an isolated part of the body, breathing through it, feeling it, and eliminating all the tensions from it. Learning how to control your thoughts does not happen from one day to another. It takes skill and a lot of practice. Even if you're the best meditator in the world, whatever the hell that means, you need to constantly practice. There are other ways to learn how to control your thoughts. We'll talk about them in future videos, but an example for me personally is to journal. You guys probably read Harry Potter, or at least saw the movies, but the books are so much better. If so, you probably remember Dumbledore's pensieve. So with the help of his wand, he pours his thoughts in the pensieve so that he has a place to store his memories and then share them, but also to help him put away some thoughts. I love this because this is exactly what I am a big proponent of twice a day journaling. I do it for productivity and for that reason too. Get the thoughts on the paper so that they are out, or at least half out, of my system. The second quote, "The master said, the good man does not grieve that other people do not recognize his merits. His only anxiety is lest he should fail to recognize theirs." You guys probably know by now I work in the tech industry as an iOS developer and project manager. I have a team of developers to manage, and this is something I have been trying out lately. I don't practice flattery because flattery is not sincere and I don't like it. But recognizing when someone did something really good in front of the others, mostly, have significantly improved the overall morale of the team and our productivity too. In our daily meetings, I would say something along the lines of, this person solved problem X by implementing this really cool solution. Great job. And that is all. You can bet that within seconds, others that had a similar problem will want to know about it. The person that is recognized by the whole team is proud and happy to get the credit he deserves. The others congratulate him or her. That person then shares with them the solution. The team is in a cross-function, platform collaborating mood. Everyone is happy, problems get solved faster, and we get more productivity. A third quote, the master said, he does not preach what he practices till he has practiced what he preaches. Again, taking example on my team, the other day, I had to mention that some people in the team were coming to work too late, too often. Imagine how that would look if I was the one that was always late. Practicing what you preach is a matter of honesty first, of integrity second, but also it is a mark of respect. If you can't practice what you preach, then just don't preach it. You've heard the expression leading by example. People don't want to hear you talk about stuff that they should be doing. They want you to do it, to inspire them, to show them that this is something that is making you improve the quality of your life. When they will see that what you practice is something you should preach, then they will want to model your actions and follow in your footsteps. If you don't practice what you preach, most of the time, you will look nothing other than foolish. Next quote, the master said, in vain I have looked for a single man capable of seeing his own fault and bringing the charge home against himself. Remember that quote by our other Stoic mentor Seneca that I shared with you a few weeks ago in this other video? He says, be harsh with yourself at times. If you cannot look back for a second and see your own faults, then how do you think you will ever improve in anything? There's nothing to improve. Humility is the first factor to learning. Acknowledging that we have faults and a lot to learn, and then putting in the work and effort to learn. This is not only about taking responsibility on your actions, this is about having the mindfulness to recognize that not everything you do is perfect. This probably seems obvious to you because, you're here listening to me talk to you about some dude writing stuff 3,000 years ago because it can improve the quality of your existence. You're by default, Mr. Viewer, you're by default open to change and open to improvements, but still, you can always do better. So ask yourself this question. What fault should you take responsibility for, and how will you improve it? This is part of this week's exercises, so please take a moment to answer this question with a pen and paper. Last quote for today. The master said he does not mind not being in office. All he minds about is whether he has qualities that entitle him to office. He does not mind failing to get recognition. He is too busy doing the things that entitle him to recognition. You know it. I chose that quote as our last one because it deeply relates to what we learned last week with the teachings of Krishna. Don't let your happiness depend on what other people think of you. I know that it's hard, and believe me, I have been there. When you do something that makes you really, really proud, only to have some other person taking all the credit for it. It's easy to say, don't seek recognition, but in truth, I always find it quite frustrating. This is a fault I have and that I need to improve. Is this something that you can improve on too? Great. Then we can do it together. I do understand though that at some point things will follow through. If you do what you have to do with passion, with honesty, with integrity, the recognition you get on the moment is just fluff. You don't need that fluff to live your life with your dharma, your purpose. Continue to put in the effort. Continue to be the best at whatever it is that you do. The recognition, if you really need it, and to a certain extent, I think we all do, at least a little, will come. The people that steal your credit, well, they probably didn't have a choice at that moment. Don't bother yourself with it. things will take a good turn for you. Just continue improving and continue being the best you can be day after day, like Confucius tried to do, like Seneca tried to do, like Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and many of our wonderful mentors we are inspired by tried to do. That's all. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then you know what to do. Gently but surely press the little like button. This is not for my ego, but for the YouTube algorithm, so that people can find us. Please subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so that you never miss any of the good stuff. And how about checking this video that I talked about today? It's really cool, Ancient Indian Spirituality, and this video right here is a meditation that will help you deeply take control over your thoughts and body. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the very next one. Bye bye.